Hi, this is Rick from For Community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. When I was, who knows, like early 20s, I think, I was leading a youth group and I came off of one youth night, went on some kind of trip, came back to the church, and it was like 1 a.m., something like that, and parents had to come pick up their kids. I really can't remember exactly what we did, but I do remember this. When we came back, the main foyer was completely flooded. Well, not completely flooded, but significantly flooded because it was raining a lot and our roof had a bit of a hole in it that we didn't know. So I did the only thing that I thought I could do. I called a board member, because who wants to call the senior pastor for something like that? My boss at the time is like, no, I think it's a little safer to call a board member, or so I thought. Anyways, called this board member. And this is why I remember this experience. It's 1 a.m. Okay, so first of all, we're coming off a youth retreat or something. I don't remember what it was. It's 1 a.m. and the place is flooded. Okay, so I called the guy at 1 a.m. That's the first kind of strike against me. Second of all, not many people want to be connected with a bunch of teenagers at 1 a.m. Okay, that's the second strike against me. Thirdly, no one wants to clean up a flood at 1 a.m. to prep for church the next day because it's Saturday. So here's why this moment sticks in my head. This guy shows up with a smile on his face. He smiled at the teens. He made them laugh, and he just kind of hung out with them for a moment. And then he and I together cleaned up that foyer to prep for church, and he didn't complain a single time. The guy was joyful, which completely surprised me, and which is why this memory sticks in my head. Can you think of a time when somebody acted unexpectedly joyful or gracious with you about an event instead of complaining or getting mad? If you're watching with someone, consider pausing the video and sharing your stories. The text for this video is Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 to 5. Paul has recently been writing just before this text about the second coming, that Jesus is coming back. That's the context of this very short passage here. As he reflects on Jesus' return, he gives us some ideas about how we then can behave to other people and how to adjust our mindset in light of the awesome future that we are heading toward. Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 to 5. Always be full of joy in the Lord. I say it again, rejoice. Let everyone see that you are considerate in all you do. Remember, the Lord is coming soon.
I can't catch me. What? Oh.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Ooh, look, the For Community video just came out.
We need to make sure we look in the background for the cool characters.
Yeah, we need to make sure we watch that when we get home. Oh, and also connect HQ, of course.
In my humble opinion, I think you have a lot more control over the mood of your social spaces than you think you do. I mean, not all the time, but much of the time, it's our mood that impacts the people around us and sets the mood of our social or our work setting. If you're grumpy, you'll make the people around you grumpy and not really wanting to be around you for long. If you're happy, you'll make the people around you a little happier and they're going to want to come and be around you. The emotions that you project are received by the people around you, and they're affected by it, and they reflect those emotions back to you. In this passage, the idea of our emotions affecting the people around us is actually half of what I see in this text. The other half is the reason why we choose which emotions that we show to others. Even though we may be sad, we always have a reason to keep our hope and express some form of joy. Jesus is coming for you, and you've got a great future in store. So we're not entirely looking at the second coming right now because we've already done that. I'm going to focus on the part of this passage that focuses on how your emotions and my emotions affect the people around us, and how it is we can choose what we project to shape our social and work settings. Let me start right here by sharing this point. Your headspace determines your face space. The text says, always be full of joy, and then it goes on to say, the Lord is coming soon. I got to level with you, okay? I just got my second dose of Pfizer. Through the day, I have been feeling like I've been hit by a bus. I feel worn out. I feel like I have no energy. I am not at the top of my game right now. So for me, it's a really great moment for me to be reflecting on a text like this. So here's what Paul is not saying. Paul isn't saying to lie about your feelings. I don't feel so great right now. Paul is not telling me to lie about my feelings and project feelings that I don't actually have. So don't think you need to suppress your feelings. Don't think you don't need to be real. You have to be real, okay? Trying to suppress feelings is like trying to push a beach ball under water. Eventually that thing will go down too low and it'll pop back up and smash you in the face. Or that's our emotions. If we suppress our real emotions, they're gonna come back up. They're gonna smack us in the face, and we're gonna unleash those onto other people, onto other unsuspecting people, and we're going to hurt them. Remember, there are two focuses here. One is about the feeling, and the other thing, how we treat people, how we're joyful and considerate to people, and the other is about Jesus coming back. So the point that Paul is making is this: you don't have to let your emotions control you. And you have more than just one emotion. You can stop the bad feelings and think about something that is awesome. As bad as your situation may be right now, you can be joyful about what we have to look forward to. One day, God's going to wipe the tears from your eyes with his very own finger. That's a metaphor that we read in Revelation, and it means that we're heading into something deeply personal with God and incredibly awesome. Before you get lost in your emotions and those emotions spread to your face and your behavior, pause your thoughts. Don't pause your emotions, because that's not going to work. Pause your thoughts. Try to think about what is awesome. Think about how much different your life will be when Jesus returns. And let awesome thoughts guide the emotions that you present to other people. That emotional presentation of yourself is actually within your own personal agency. I mean, don't lie about your emotions. I'm not going to lie about my emotions. I actually don't feel all that great right now. No amount of thinking about Jesus' return is going to help me to be some kind of bubbly person as I interact with others right now. However, thinking about Jesus' return and knowing who I am in Jesus, knowing that I'm a child of God, that can calm me down. It can lesser the bigger emotions that may want to take over and help me not be carried away by my negative emotions. And that can help you to just stop that thought, stop that rumination that you're just thinking about the negative, and think about something else so that your emotions can follow what you are thinking about. Now, here's why I'm drawing attention to this. First of all, your head space determines your face space, and also your face space determines others' head space. That's the cycle that we're setting up here when we're expressing emotions. The text says, see that you are considerate in all you do. Your mindset is going to come out in your emotions. As people receive your emotions, that will set their mindset, and that's going to create a loop. When the board member came into the church with a smile and a good attitude, that set my mood too. I could have walked away from that experience feeling horrible about myself because I woke a guy up at 1 a.m. He's coming over. We actually cleaned up the foyer. I think we were there until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., something like that, getting it ready for Sunday. He could have been really grumpy. He wasn't grumpy. Instead, I walked away really liking the guy and really wanting to be more like him and wanting to spend more time with him. And this is what we can do for other people as well. We can somewhat control how others interact with us. If we show others our grumpy side, led by those negative thoughts and that lead to those bad emotions that leak out all over onto other people, then that's what's going to set the mood for our social experience, because they're going to reflect that back to us. People are going to react negatively to us when we send over those negative emotions. However, if we choose to think about something awesome, in this case, like Jesus' return, like we are children of God, that is awesome, then we can also shape our social experience by letting those emotions come to the surface instead of the negative emotions when we ruminate about the bad stuff. If we show others a little joy, even when we're feeling down and we don't make them bear the weight of our emotions, then they're going to receive us well and treat us a little better. I'm not saying that you don't need somebody to bear your heart to and show your emotions to. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying it in our casual settings, when we're out there in the wild, in the general social spaces and in the work spaces, we can affect what those social spaces look like by changing our presentation of our emotions. Yes, have your friend do that deeper emotion stuff with a friend or two. Go in that personal space with somebody and let out that negative stuff. Sure, that's where that belongs. But in our casual social spaces where there's a lot more people, in our social spaces where we're at work, we need to temper that down a little bit. And here's why. Paul tells us to be considerate in all we do. This is the why here. How do you love others as yourself when you feel so badly, and that's projecting to others and setting their mood? Here's an idea. We can pause our thoughts, stop ruminating on the negative. We can think about other things that are awesome, like Jesus' return. Then instead of throwing over your negative emotions that will trigger others to react to you badly, you can throw over something softer, which will be better received so that people will react to you better. When people react to you better because you're showing them your softer side, your social setting is likely going to be better. You may have more control over your social setting than you think. Think about how others are experiencing you, and then think about the difference that you can make if they experience you differently. So change your mindset. Think about Jesus' return. Think about how awesome you are as a child of God. And even though you're feeling like you've just been hit by a bus, like I'm feeling like right now, you don't have to send forth your grumpy side, because that's not the only part of you. There is so much more to you than just that negative feeling that you have right now. You're awesome. You're wonderful. If you are a follower of Jesus, then you are a child of God, heading towards glory for all eternity in the deepest, personalist possible relationship ever imaginable with our Creator, with God, with Jesus. That's something that we can be joyful about. Even though our emotions feel really bad at one level, we can also think that there's so many more dimensions of us. So what dimension of us do we want to express that we want to send over to others? Let's think about Jesus' return. Let's think about who we really are in Jesus, children of God, followers of Jesus. Here's the takeaway. Let the people around you experience the Jesus inside of you coming to the surface. That's it. From me to you. For now, would you please like, would you please share, would you please subscribe? All of that is awesome. For community, creating community spaces that you can connect with others and also with God. See you next time.